Hi, this is Topher with OSTraining.com. We're going to begin a series on how to build a restaurant site using WordPress. We're going to use a parent theme, a child theme, and several plugins. You can see here the finished product actually. I've already put it together and we'll be going through how I did it. You can see we have a site nav in the top left, a food menu on the right, and then some pictures of some of the food that we're going to be serving in our restaurant. At the bottom in the footer we have hours, location, and contact information, which are some of the most important parts of any restaurant site. We're going to be using Make as a parent theme, and then we actually built a custom child theme on top of Make, just for this series. At the time of this recording, it is not on WordPress.org yet, because it's still going through the review process. However, when it's done, it will be published on WordPress.org. Until then, you'll be able to download it here on OSTraining.com. We're also going to be using this plugin called Restaurant from Justin Tadlock. The plugin provides excellent functionality for maintaining a menu, but does not offer presentation in the theme, and that's why we built a custom child theme. We'll also be using several other plugins, and the end result will be that you'll have a restaurant site that's easy to maintain and pleasurable for your patrons to use. In this video, we're going to set up our new site with the themes and some plugins that we're going to use. Let's take a look at the couple things I've changed, and then we'll install some things. Under Settings, Permalinks, I changed the common setting to post name. That gives us attractive URLs. Then under Discussion, I turned off comments for now because I don't want spam while I'm working on this. I also went in and deleted the default posts and pages that come with WordPress. The site we're building does not have the blog on the home page. It's just a regular page. So we're going to go into Pages and create both our home page and our blog page. There, now we have those two. Now let's install the theme we're going to use. Because it's not on .org yet, I have to upload it. Now something I learned in the process of making this series that's very cool is that if you install a child theme without its parent, WordPress will check WordPress.org for the parent, and if it's there, it will install it for you. So I'm actually going to be installing two themes at once. So here at the top it says it's unpacking the package that I uploaded and installing a theme, and then it notes that it requires a parent theme and checks to see if it's already installed. It's not, so it downloads Make from WordPress.org and installs that as well. So now I can activate my child theme. And here you can see it. Now the only thing that sets my child theme apart from the regular Make theme is that it has templates for the restaurant plugin. So for now, this should look exactly like default Make, which it does. So let's go get that plugin. And there it is. And we'll activate. And now you can see on the left here we have the restaurant items. In the next video, we're going to take a look at how to make our site look the way it should. In this video, we're going to make our restaurant website look like this instead of this. One of the great things about the Make theme is that it uses the WordPress customizer extensively. So we're going to go to Customize right here. And now we can start making some settings. Under General, we go to Site Title and Tagline. I'm going to change my tagline to Spice Up Your Life. But then I'm going to hide it right here because I'm going to put it someplace else on the site. Make allows you to upload two versions of your logo, one for high resolution monitors and one for standard resolution. So first, we upload the regular one. Then we upload the high res. I don't have a favicon or an Apple Touch icon, but you could upload those here as well. Now I'm going to go back to the site title and tagline and hide the site title as well. Now that doesn't actually remove it. Removing it would be bad for your search engine optimization. It simply hides it. So let's save and publish. And we'll close the customizer. And you'll see we're well on our way. Here's where you could set up a background image if you wished. We don't at this time. And you could set up your social profiles in RSS. Here's where we do want to set the front page to be a static page. And now we can choose Home for the front page and News for the Posts page. And there we are. Now I'm going to go to Color Scheme. We're going to leave General the way it is. We'll leave Background the way it is. But for Header, I'm going to change this to this gray. There. Now to make our navs look right, we actually have to create them. So we'll do that in the next video. In this video, we're going to set up our navigation. And it will include both site navigation as well as food menu navigation. We'll begin by going to Appearance, Menus. Going to create one called Top Nav. And in there, I will put Home and News. I'm going to set this as Header Bar Menu. Now the next one is actually going to be built from things that exist inside the restaurant setup. So we're going to have to create those. It has restaurant tags. So I'm going to start with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and sides. Now over here on the right, you'll note that we don't actually have any items in these. So they're not going to show up on the nav. Once we create some menu items, then they'll show up. So for now, I'm going to have to fake it. But I can build the menu under Appearance. So under Appearance, Menus, I'm going to create a new menu called Food Menu. And for now, because I don't actually have food in my menu, I'm going to use the same ones. And now, using the customizer, I'm going to go to Header, Navigation. My primary menu will be Food Menu. Also in this area, we could choose Layout. The design I've chosen uses traditional, but you could choose centered, and you could use navigation below. You can also reverse where the logo is. Now it looks like I forgot to change the color on my header nav. So we'll go to Color Scheme, Header, Header Bar Text Color, and there we are. Now optionally we could change our background color back to black and this text color to white. Again, that's a stylistic decision. So now that we've set up the menus, we'll add something to this page to make it look more like a home page. In this video, we're going to make our home page look a little bit more like a home page. So let's edit this page. And then for template, we're going to choose Builder Template. And now we have some extra tools from Make. I'm going to install a banner. Give it a nice title here. And there's that. And now I'm going to choose to darken it to improve readability. And then I'm going to choose to write on it. So here I'm going to choose to put in Spice Up Your Day. I'm going to make it header size 2. I'm going to center it. There. We'll click Update. We'll see what it looks like. And there we are. Now the image I chose here is actually very, very large. That allows it to fill up the space here, and yet still look good when our site is not full width, like this. As you can see, it fits quite nicely. In our next video, we'll put a gallery on the homepage that showcases some of the food that we serve. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to make this gallery. When you hover over an image, a caption comes up, and when you click, you get a larger version, and you can scroll through the entire gallery. Normally, we would use Jetpack to accomplish this, but since this is the only feature we want, we won't install the entire Jetpack plugin. Instead, we'll get a plugin that replicates this. So we're going to get one called Tiled Galleries Carousel without Jetpack. And there it is. So now let's edit the home page. Below the banner, we're going to enter a columns section and then make it have only one column. We'll put in the word gallery, though that won't be shown on the home page. That's just so that we know what's in here. So now I'm going to create a standard WordPress gallery. So here we've uploaded some images, and the ones with checks are going to be in our gallery. We want to make sure we have good titles and captions. There. Now we've captioned all of our images. We'll click Create New Gallery. Over here, we'll choose Tiled Mosaic. And for links, I'm going to choose None. There. Now it doesn't look like very much right here, but I'll click Done. And we'll update. And here we have our gallery. Here you can see the captions. And it looks like it does put the title here. So we'll just take that out. And there we are. Now the gallery is also responsive. As we make it small, you can see that it adjusts itself. And if you were on a mobile device, you would be able to swipe. In our next video, we'll take care of the footer and put in locations and things like that. In this video, we're going to talk about your footer, as well as some theory about hours and contact information. This is the completed version, and you can see at the bottom I have 3 widgets, one for location, one for hours, and one for contact. This is actually only a suggestion. I will show you how to build these, but you could put anything down here. You could merge contact and hours, and put a banner ad over there on the right, or anything you wish. With a restaurant, though, it's very, very important to have your contact information and your hours right on the home page, and preferably on every page, because someone coming to your site on a computer or a mobile phone probably wants to find out when you're open and how to get a hold of you. So an alternative to putting it here in the footer is to put it here in the top bar. You could move that nav down to the footer, or a variety of other places. But depending on how important it is to you to let people know how to get a hold of you and where you are, you may want to put it at the top. Let's look at how to put it in the bottom. We're going to go to Widgets, and we're going to use footers 1, 2, and 3. In footer 1, we're going to use a text widget. I'm going to put in an address. And then I'm going to put in a BR tag. But I'm going to copy this address and I'm going to go to Google. We'll paste it in right here. There. Now, down on the bottom right is a little gear. You can click that, choose Share and Embed. We'll choose Embed. We'll choose a custom size. We'll make it 250 by 250. And then right here is the HTML for that. So let's go back over here and paste it right there. And then we'll reload. Now you'll note that this is actually quite tall, much taller than we specified. That's because Make has a built-in theme to make sure that maps are 600 tall. So to override that, right here at the end of the iframe, I'm going to write height, 250px. And there we are. Now we have our address and our map. Now obviously you could leave off the address that we typed in because it's written right here. Again, most of these things are optional. So then, in footer 2, we put in another text, call it hours. I'm going to cheat and copy. And then I'm going to automatically add paragraphs so that it will keep this spacing. And there are our hours. I'm going to cheat it with contact also. We go to footer 3, add a text, put in contact, paste there, automatically add paragraphs. And there we have our 3 footer widgets. Now our hours, contact information, and location are on every single page. I'm a little uncomfortable with the fact that they're at the bottom of the page. Somebody coming to this page may not think to scroll all the way down. That's something you'll need to research with your own users. Do a little testing. Ask some people to go to your site and see if they can figure out how late you're open or how to call you. As I mentioned before, you may want to move it right up here into the top. In this video, we're going to begin putting some content into our food menu. On the left, we have restaurant, and we can go to menu items. And you'll see we have none. So let's add one. There's not a whole lot to it. We enter in a title and a description. There, we have a description. And now we can give it some tags. Now these tags will be used to help organize our food menu. So I'm going to put it into the lunch tag. And you can see that lunch popped up here. That's because I had already created it in the restaurant tags area. So I can simply click it. I'm also going to put it into the organic tag. There, now I have 2 tags, lunch and organic. Next, I'm going to give it a price, and I'm going to give it an image. There. Now I'll publish. Now I can view this menu item. So here we have the title at the top, a very large image, the caption from the image from earlier, the description, and the price. We're going to change the way this looks in a little bit, but for now you can see that it's there. Now I'm going to add a breakfast item. I'll give it a tag of breakfast. And I will also give it gluten-free, because there's no gluten in bacon and eggs. Our price is $4. We'll give it a featured image. And publish. So now I'm going to add a dinner item. Give it a tag of dinner. A price. And a featured image. And publish. Now, we want to set up a way to access these. We're going to make our menu right here. So we go back to Appearance, Menus. Here's our food menu. We're going to get rid of the ones that are there. And then over here we want to add our tags. So we're going to go to Screen Options and add that tags. The other tags is for posts, and they're actually poorly labeled. This one should be restaurant tags. But if you get the wrong one, then you will see there's nothing in it. So we're going to take this tags. Then we're going to add breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And save. There. Now we have breakfast, lunch, and dinner in the top. And we can click here to see only breakfast, only lunch, and only dinner. Now as we add more items, this list will get longer. Then if you click, you can see a single. Also, if you hover, you get the description. The description is actually the excerpt if you're going to look at it in WordPress terms. In the next videos, we're going to look at how to access the other tags and the whole menu. In this video, we're going to look at how to better present your whole menu, rather than simply breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm going to do that by creating a sidebar widget that lists all of the tags. Out of the box, WordPress comes with a category widget, but that uses only post categories. We want one that deals with other taxonomies. So we're going to add a plugin called List Custom Taxonomy Widget. There, now if we go to Widgets, we're not using the left sidebar, we're going to use the right sidebar, and here's List Custom Taxonomy. We're going to choose Restaurant Tag. And we'll put in Food Menu. There are more options here. We could show how many items are in a given menu. We could show hierarchy, so we could have children. We can order by count, ID, name, slug, or term group. I'm going to choose name. And we can choose ascending or descending, and we can exclude a certain set if we wished. And then we could only show children of a certain category ID. So I'm going to hit save here. And there we have organic, lunch, gluten-free, dinner, and breakfast. I actually want the order reversed. So we're going to go ascending. And there we have it. Now, I also want that on the side here of singles. So I'm going to use the customizer, choose content and layout, choose posts, and choose show right sidebar. And there we have it on singles. This also makes the image of the product much smaller, and in general makes it fit the page better. We have some other options here. Rather than the large image, we could show the thumbnail, which would look like that, or none at all, which kind of defeats the purpose. This is entirely a design issue, and you can choose anything you like. You may want the very large image. You may want the small one. So now I'm going to choose Save and Publish. There. Now we have a food menu on the right, a primary menu here, and a site menu at the top. In this video, we're going to take a look at how to adjust some minor things on your food menu to make it look a little better. Between the last video and this one, I actually imported a bunch of items so that we have more. You can see here that I have 3 sides listed: hash brown potatoes, french fries, and fried rice. I'm going to show you how we can change the order of that. We're going to install a plugin called Simple Page Ordering. This plugin actually works with any hierarchical post type, which out of the box means pages. Normally, restaurant items are not hierarchical, but in my theme, I made them so. Let me show you what that means. Let's edit eggs and bacon here real quick. And you'll see over here I have an order of 1. I edit quarter pound hamburger. I have an order of 2. The order is created automatically. You don't have to put in a number. And you could manually change those numbers. But the plugin we installed allows us to just drag and drop items right here. So I'm going to drag hash browns down below french fries and fried rice, and come back here and reload. And now hash browns is below them. Now you have to be careful with this because you're also changing the order of these other categories. But once you get the hang of it, it's not that hard to get things in the order you want without messing anything up. Another thing we're going to look at here is the tag description. We're on the page Menu Options, Sides. If we go to the Tags page and edit Sides, there's a description field here. It says the description is not prominent by default, however some themes may show it. My theme does. And there we are. We can put something right at the top of each tag page. In addition to breakfast, lunch, and dinner in my primary nav, I would like to have sides. So I'm going to go add that real quick. There we are. And now, because we are on the sides page, it's bolded. If we go to the lunch page, it will be bolded. One thing I forgot to mention about hierarchical items is that once you get more than 100, the page starts to slow down a little bit. I decided that was acceptable with my theme because I find it unlikely that you'll have 100 items in a single tag. Here we are at the end of our series on how to build a restaurant site. What we're looking at right now is the one that I built the other day, and then this one is the one I built with you during this series. The only real difference is that I made the top bar black, and I used different pictures here. Other than that, everything came out exactly the same. We used the Make Customizer to manage the look and feel. We used a plugin for the gallery, and then we used the Restaurant plugin to manage our food options. You can drag and drop to reorder. We used the custom Taxonomy restaurant tags to create a menu that exists on the right here, and you can see how many options there are. Something I want to stress is that you don't have to build this exactly like I did. You can use the Make Customizer to make your site look like anything you wish. You don't have to put a menu on the right if you don't wish to. You could put it on the left. You could put it in the bottom. You could not have one. The options are yours. You can make this look like anything you want. What I really wanted to show you is that with just a few plugins, you can create a very well-functioning restaurant theme. There are other things involved in a restaurant site that we did not cover, and I may cover in another series sometime. Things like banner ads and promotions and email lists. We didn't do anything at all with the blog. I highly recommend that your restaurant site have a well-trafficked blog where you talk about the food that you have and the good times that people have when they come to visit. But those are standard things involved with just about any site, not restaurant specific, so I didn't include them in this series. I'd like to reiterate that the theme we're using is a custom-built child theme of Make that was built specifically for this video series. You'll be able to find it on WordPress.org once it gets released there, and until then on ostraining.com. In the future, I intend to create some add-ons for the restaurant plugin that will create some more widgets for the sidebar. When that happens, I'll be doing some more videos for it, perhaps an entire series for those features, or perhaps they'll be added to this series, so keep an eye on this series for additional videos in the future. I'd like to thank you for joining me on this series. It was a lot of fun.